put on your mental track shoes here and run with me today, because I'm going to deal mostly in concepts. Expect you to, fill in a lot of the details, because I got a lot to share. I want to get through it all. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but unfortunately you can't get more time. Remarkable things that happen to you at a particular time. Sometimes it's just unexplainable. One of my friends says, well, hey, things don't just happen. Things happen just. And maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm an amateur on life, I guess like most of us are, trying to figure it out, how to make it valuable. Important note to make. Sincerity is not a test of truth. We must not make the mistake of saying, he must be right, he's so sincere. That would be a mistake. And here's why. Ideas can be life-changing. Ideas, business ideas, and social ideas, and personal ideas. We all need ideas. How to have a good day ideas, how to have a good year ideas, how to have your best year ever ideas, good health ideas, personal relationship ideas, how to deal with your family ideas, sales management ideas, financial freedom for the future ideas. And maybe a seminar like this could do it. A sermon could do it. The lyrics from a song could do it. The dialogue from a movie could do it. Conversation with a friend might do it. That one last piece you need, number. And who knows the mystery of inspiration? Why some people are inspired and some are not. Some people do and some people don't. Some buy and some don't buy. Some go for it and some don't. Some change and some don't. And if you've been around for a while, you can usually work out the numbers. Take what someone else says, process it, think about it, ponder it. If it makes you wonder, if it makes you think, then it's valuable. Then when you go take action, make sure that the action is not what somebody told you to do. Make sure the action is the product of your own conclusion. Each person's personal philosophy is like the set of the sail. And this whole process over a lifetime, starting way back here when we were children, schools that we've attended, our parents, our experiences, all this stuff that we've processed by the thinking process helps to develop our philosophy. And in my opinion, each person's personal philosophy is the major factor in how your life works out. That's what makes us different than all other life forms. The ability to think, the ability to use your mind, the ability to process ideas, and not just operate by instinct. What's available? Well, when we get here, we got seed, and we got soil, and we got some rain, sunshine, and we've got some seasons, and what? The miracle of life. How do you turn all this stuff that's available here into equity and promise and lifestyle and dreams and future possibilities? All of this that's possible now with human beings. Now, what if you blame this stuff? Then you're blaming all you got. And if you blame the only thing you've got to work with, I'm telling you, it's called mistake colossal. Now, here's the formula for success. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. And if you keep up that process, not only with your health habits, but with your money habits and with your communication habits, with your sales habits and management habits and every other habit that you've got, if you'll start that process, eliminate the errors and replace it with disciplines practiced, I'm telling you, you can start this process of life change immediately. The same thing can happen for you as a teenager. It can happen to you as a mother, as a father, as a business person, as a salesperson, running a business. Doesn't matter. Management, wherever you find yourself. This is the process called personal change. You don't have to ask for another planet. You don't have to ask for another country. Let the past be a schoolmaster to teach you. Not to threaten you, but to teach you. Got to have a good attitude about everybody else, because it takes everybody else to make a market. One person doesn't make a family. One person doesn't make a business. One person doesn't make a corporation. One person doesn't make a community. Without a future well designed, we take hesitant steps. Understanding self-worth is the beginning of progress. If one of us can do it, all of us can do it. If anybody can think it, we all can think it. I can read, you can read. I can understand, you can understand. From where I came from, a few simple things I did and tried revolutionized my life in 5 years. There isn't anybody here that can't do it. Change from pennies to fortune. Change from nothing to something. Change from broke to rich. That's the kind of value you should place on yourself. Jim Rohn can understand it, I can understand it. If he can read, I can read. If he can find it, I can find it. If he can change, I can change. If he can get it done, I can get it done. That's the attitude about yourself. So valuable. I do believe in affirmations. They are valuable as long as you affirm the truth. Because it says in ancient scripts, the truth will set you free. Here's all life asks us to do: make measurable progress in reasonable time. One discipline starts it, and then one discipline feeds another, and the first thing you know, you've got this whole cycle in an upward positive motion. And it's called life change. It's called income change. It's called health change. Relationship with your family change. Equities unprecedented that you can have in numbers that will stagger the imagination if you do not curse what's available and start amending what's possible to get the results that you want. I don't think I can put it in any better language. What's that going to cost me in 1 year, 6 years, 1 month, 6 months? Fashion for yourself lifestyle, or what we call the good life. It's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. It's not what happens. What happens to us all. It's not what happens, it's what you do about it. Since we cannot change the circumstances, but we can change ourselves. We can change what we do. What you have at the moment, you've attracted by the person you've become. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. Do something different the next 90 days than you did the last 90 days. And in helping kids understand personal development, I always start with money. Now, money's not the only place to start. Money certainly isn't the only value, but we've all got to start somewhere. Money's something you can count. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Marketplace is also described as reality. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but we don't get paid for time. It's very important for kids to understand, as well as adults. You get paid for the value you put in the time. Is it possible to become 3 times as valuable as you now are and make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? Life and business is like the seasons. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. Just need somebody like me just to come along and remind us. This is what this is called today, a reminding session. I got no new truth for you to discover. This is all old stuff. We just need to hear it again. Uniquely enough, spring follows winter. But there's all kinds of winters. Economic winters, social winters, political winters, and personal winters. When your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces, the nights are unusually long. Well, you can't get rid of January by tearing it off the calendar. The Beatles wrote, "Life is very short." Another day is called opportunity. Days follow nights. Good phraseology used in the Bible, in my amateur way, but let me put it to you best I can. Here's what it says: treat your body like a temple. It's the only place you've got to live currently. And here's some of the best advice on appearance I can give you. It comes from ancient script again. It says, God looks on the inside, people look on the outside. Here's the best advice I can give you. Make sure the outside is a major reflection of what's going on inside. So it does take time for personal development. It does take time for spiritual development, physical development. But here's also what takes time, and that's your mental development. Feeding the mind. Nourishing the mind. Do not neglect your values. Do not neglect your virtues. And we've got to help our teenagers. We've got to help our kids especially to be able to debate the major life issues. And one of the ways you got to get ready is not just physical and not just spiritual. You got to get ready mentally. Start developing the library. Here's what your library needs to show: that you're a serious student of health and life, spirituality, culture, uniqueness, sophistication, economics, prosperity, productivity, sales, management, skills, values of all kinds. Let your library show you're a serious student. Information is the key. In fact, we call it food for thought. History helps us to understand how it is, what there is to work with: seed, soil, sunshine, rain, and what human beings have done with it in the past. And how many of them have, like I did by age 25, they have messed up. I learned this the hard way. Culture is what makes us different from the barbarians culture, sophistication. Be a student of the dance, of the art, music, and all the rest of those extraordinary human values that are possible for us all to participate in as well as to enjoy. Did you ever look back, right? 2 or 3 generations, just a handful of photographs way back there. Wouldn't it be something if there was album after album, thousands of pictures to help tell the story? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Here's a good phrase for you to jot down. Wherever you are, be there. Take a picture if you can, but take pictures of your mind. Let your soul and heart take pictures. Most people are just trying to get through the day. Here's what I want you to be committed to do. Learn to get from the day. Let sad things make you sad. Let happy things make you happy. Let the feelings strike you. Let the emotions strike you. Here's what's important. Our emotions need to be as educated as our intellect. Take a few hours at the end of the week. Call time to reflect. Take a weekend at the end of the year to establish this year now firmly in your consciousness, firmly in your experience bank, so that you've got it, so that it never disappears. Remember the highs, remember the lows. So valuable at the end of the day. Lock that day in. Lock the month in, lock the week in, lock the year in. Things are moving so fast these days, you got to pay attention, pick it up, soak up the colors, soak up the sounds. There's also something to be said for solitude when you reflect. Sometimes you can reflect with somebody. Husband and wife reflect on the past year. Parents reflect with their children on the past year. How did we do it, and how didn't we do it, and how could we improve? There are some things you need to do alone. Ponder, think, wonder, read, study, absorb, soak in. See if you can't become better this year than you were last year, better the next 9 than you were the first 9. Solitude. And let things move into your consciousness and awareness that no other way can it be done. That's why action is so important. The least action, the smallest action. Take it. Because when you start accomplishing and the value starts to return from that one action, it'll inspire you to do the next one and the next one and the next one. Neglect starts as an infection. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease. And one neglect leads to another. And the worst of all, when neglect starts, it diminishes our self-worth, our self-confidence, our self-value. The key is to diminish the lack and set up the new. And you've started a whole new life process. Don't be naive in saying, well, this doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. Here's the time to act. When the idea is hot and the emotion is strong. If I had a glass of water up here and it was full, question, can that glass hold any more water if it's full? The answer is yes. But for it to hold more, you got to pour out what's already in. Not like a glass that stays the same. Human beings have the ability to grow in consciousness and awareness and capacity. It's unlimited capacity. I found out kids don't lack capacity. In Europe, the kids speak what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 languages. But the price seems almost too much to pay. Too much to get over. Too much to accomplish if the promise isn't clear, if the promise isn't powerful. I'm telling you, kids will pay the disciplines if they can see the promise. But if they can't see, they don't want to pay. And here's why. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become. If I set this goal and go for it, not only will I achieve it, but what will it make of me in the process? Go where the demands are high. Go where the expectations are strong, so that it'll provoke you, push you, urgently insist that you not remain the same for the next couple of years, the next 5 years, that you'll grow and change. And whether you start with pennies, or whether you start with dollars, or whether you start with nothing, remember, part of the scenario is to spend, of course. Part of the scenario is to invest, and part of the scenario is to show a profit. I'm only wanting to provoke you to think, for you to come up with a splendid economic philosophy that's got you up early and got you up late. It's got you thinking and pondering ways to use your resources and turn it into the dreams you want.